Hello everybody, I hope you're having a wonderful day, and today I would like to share with you guys my final thoughts on the Vosteed knives acorn. This thing has really impressed me, and to make a long review short, yes, I absolutely do believe it is worth every single freaking penny. How Vosteed is making any money on this, I don't know, doesn't really matter. It's a win for sure. I've loved damn near everything about this. There are a couple little things here and there that I will complain about, but to be realistic, for what this thing costs, it's pretty freaking sweet. Now, this has gone on super sale, I believe when it first released, and then it went to regular price, and then it went back down again, and now I'm not sure where it's at, but I will be linking it down below. You can get this, of course, directly off of Vosteed's website or on Amazon, and I believe that's where I got it from as well, and it was relatively inexpensive. I think the price was about between 30 and $40. I can't remember exactly what it was. I don't have my laptop pulled up beside me like I typically do for specs, but this doesn't really require a whole lot of in-depth things. This is a very compact, easy to work around liner lock micarta 14C28N kind of knife. Wonderful things about it that I do enjoy are the experience with the clip, just carry overall, the use of it, the blade shape. It is on the thicker side. At first I thought, oh, this is relatively thin. No, not really. This is actually a little bit on the girthier side, so you are actually able to put this through, I guess, tougher tasks, of course. And as you can see, the action is incredible. I did put skiffs in here. I'm not too sure if skiff has any of the proper size of bearings currently right now, but I will be linking them down below as well. I don't have any affiliate links or anything like that. I like their products and I want to support them, and I rep them in majority of the stuff that I have here in my collection. So let's go ahead. We're gonna start with some I have 6 comparison size knives. We'll take the weight and then we'll just get into the rest of the good stuff. Let's start with some big stuff just to get it out of the way. This is pardon me, Microtech MSI Manix 2 lightweight. That MSI has really come a long way when it comes to its lock stick, for sure. It's a whole lot more enjoyable now. CMB Made Knives Predator. Civivi Vision FG. So as you can see, this acorn is quite small. Definitely small. And it's going to compare quite well to the next one that's coming up in a sec. This is a Free Tiger FT2103. That's the model name. Very similar and comparable to the overall size of a standard Benchmade bug out. And last but not least is the wonderful Native 5 lightweight. So I'm going to keep the Native 5 lightweight out just for a little bit longer, just to kind of drive a point home. All right, so a lot of you could probably guess where I'm going to go with this. The Native 5, I love it. I'm going to crack it for it. There was at one point where I probably had like 4 different versions of it, and this is the one that's stayed because it's the one that's seen the most use and abuse. It's been beaten to hell. It's been, taken on camping trips, used in the kitchen, out in the yard. It's been abused, and it just keeps coming back for more. It's freaking awesome. It's a wonderful knife. USA made, which is great and all, but there are some major differences here. Overseas production in China, of course, USA, right? But this is also at least $150. This is well below $50. This has arguably 0 fidget factor. This has plenty of fidget factor. But if you take a look at the available cutting edge, it's damn near the same. You just get a little bit more belly with the acorn. And the tip, I think, is a little bit higher, not by much. It's damn near the same. I'm trying to line it up a little bit. I'm trying to do my best to show you guys. but there are going to be some differences when it comes to performance. The Native 5 can come in a multitude of different variations. This one is DLC coated in M4, great blade material. This is I don't believe it's a PVD coated. It might be, I'm not 100% sure, but it is a black coating with a light stone wash tumbling over. It's attractive, I like it. There is also a satin variation. If you don't like black blades, that's completely cool. But taking a look at these guys side by side, you can see that the Native 5 is actually quite thinner than the Acorn here, but the stock thickness is quite similar. So there's going to be little different things that you can and can't do with either of these. In comparison, the Native 5, I probably wouldn't do certain things like maneuvering and manipulating with the tip and I guess harsher materials, but the Acorn should be just fine because that is a relatively robust tip for the overall size of the knife. This is a very stout and robust build overall, in my opinion. Also, going back to the whole fidget factor, you have wonderful hole deployment, reverse flick, it's awesome. You also have jimping here on the spine that doubles as a front flipper, and it is very easy to get to that action. So definitely feels pretty darn good. You don't miss it often, but I will say I've been hearing a lot of people complain about the detent on this particular model. Sorry, kick the camera there. The detent on this, a lot of people have mentioned that it is stiffer for what they think that it would be, or the appropriate tension. I'll get this out of here. No longer really need that. So I went ahead and detuned my particular unit. I flexed over the lock bar to the left, if you're looking down at it, right? So it's down this way, just to loosen it up a little bit. Of course, it's still rock solid, side to side, up and down. It's wonderful. The lockup is wonderful. You can spine whack it at all. You can actually still see the lockup. It's barely on there, but it's on there enough to where it's not going to disengage if you spine whack it, if that's something that has any weight to you in your opinion, of course. Me in particular, as long as the knife can't come undone in my hand if I put pressure on the spine. Now I'm in the forward grip position here in the finger choil, and this isn't gonna go anywhere. So yeah, so to me, I'm not really concerned about this thing disengaging or anything really happening, because I loosened up the detent, or I made it lighter. But now it is a whole lot more enjoyable, because one little thing that I noticed with this was that it almost seemed as if as the knife was breaking in, the detent was getting stronger. Kind of weird. That's typically not how things work, but it was interesting. 3.1, cool, nothing crazy. If you want to compare it to this one, 2.4, the G10 ones I think are comparable, probably still a little bit less than the Acorn, but we have different materials here. Of course, you have steel liners on the inside that are wonderfully nested, and there's actual weight relieving there, you could see, and down in there. There's no back spacer. It's very open, simple construction. This isn't something that you would have to take apart often to clean if you don't want to. You could just go and just blow it out with some compressed air or something like that. But because this does have bearings within the pivot, you have to do basic maintenance with pivot stuff. So if you work in like a machine shop or a wood shop, this is probably not the carry for you. If you wanted to go ahead and put like stiff thick washers in here, you can, but the action is not going to be as enjoyable. It's most likely going to end up just being like a slow roll kind of thing. You may or may not be able to front flip anymore if you have washers in there, until it breaks in, of course. But yeah, that's besides the point. So if you're going after a particular design like this, you got to know where you're going to be carrying it around. And this is a wonderful, just everyday kind of multi-purpose knife that you could put through damn near anything and be pretty confident that you're gonna be able to get the job done, you know, quickly and safely, and, you know, have a little bit of fun while you're at it too. So engagement, incredible. Disengagement, wonderful, absolutely wonderful. Take a look at how much access you get to that liner right there, and it's also textured right there. So it's not sharp, it's not uncomfortable, it is well placed, all the actual texturing there. And here on the swell of the scales, you can see that it is rather bulbous here. There is jimping here, machined with a micarta. Here on the spine as well, on the back side, is very reminiscent to what Dirk Pinkerton does on a lot of his knives, which I think it's really cool. It's something, this is not a collaborative work with anybody to my knowledge, but it works. It's freaking great. You feel it in hand. It's slightly contoured, the bulbous part in hand back there. I personally am able to get a very comfortable grip on this. I have large large size hands but slimmer fingers, so I don't typically have a difficult time manipulating something of this nature. But if you have really beefy hands, this might be a little bit of a squeeze for you, and frankly this could be small enough to be considered a 5th pocket carry. Go for it. I highly recommend this being a 5th pocket carry. Just a little backup, something a little bit more robust if you want. Let's say you have like a mega slicer for your primary carry, right? You have something super thin, laser beam freaking edge, and you need to make a more I guess a sketchier cut, right? You want to be able to, you know, not chip or do any major rolls on such a thin, precise piece that would be your primary carry. This would be a wonderful 5th pocket carry, absolutely. Another little thing here is that, if I didn't mention before already, the clip is reversible. You have T6 for the pod clip screws. Not the end of the world, not a big deal. It is completely clear, should accept damn near every thickness of pant material you can, you know, have. So slacks, sports slacks, work pants, jeans, shorts, it doesn't really matter. The carry experience with this has been wonderful. The clip, 0 hot spot. I don't care that it's a bent over steel pocket clip. I think it is appropriate for the price. Would have been cool if it was something milled or the other of titanium. Yeah, that would have been cool, but I don't expect it at this price point. You really can't. T8 for the body screws, very simple construction. There's 2 there, and then T8 for the pivot on this side. You do have a decorative colored pivot, also matching with a lanyard tube right there. Something quite interesting about this lanyard tube, you also have a silver standoff there, which I think is it's cool, it's fine. But the tolerances of the steel liners in relation to that lanyard tube is damn near the same experience as when you're taking apart Spyderco PM2 or the Para 3. The tube has this like flared out, what is it called, the flange or something like that, where it's just it's a compression fit kind of thing. But once you get past that lip, everything falls apart really easily. The tolerances to this knife are actually quite impressive for the price, and that's something that I could be a little picky about. You know, sometimes I've experienced models that cost hundreds of dollars, and certain things about them just feel kind of cheap. I'm not talking about the weight, it's just kind of how they feel and, you know, the overall experience. This thing's awesome. I think this is great. It's a dream to sharpen. I put 2 edges on here. I believe currently right now this is a 16-degree edge, so it's 16 or 17 degrees. It's not super tall or crazy looking. It's not funky. Minimal billboarding. You have Vosteed there. I think that is appropriate. 14C blade material right there. That's fine. Could have been there. Could have, you know, not been there. It doesn't really matter. Could have been. I don't know. But I think for what this thing is, for what they're asking for it, whether you get it directly off Vosteed's website or on Amazon, I think this is definitely a steal. And I would absolutely enjoy if Vosteed will do a primo version of this. If they want to go ahead and do aluminum, while I am not personally the biggest fan of aluminum, and what I mean not the biggest fan, I mean I don't like aluminum at all, I'd say go for it either way, because plenty of people do enjoy aluminum, and this should be a very easy platform to just implement different materials, right? So as well as maybe making an XL, that would be awesome, because this is definitely the smaller, more compact side, and the blade to handle ratio is a little bit off. Some people just don't like that. That's okay, but I do definitely believe that a premium version or an XL version, it is definitely needed. I think it would be very well received within the community, because really this is just a home run to me. You got meaningful jimping here on the spine. I definitely do enjoy it quite a bit. A stout, useful blade shape, something simple, nothing crazy. The whole shape is excellent, well executed, disengagement wonderful, as I mentioned before. Even on the stock bearings, this thing was enjoyable. Taking it apart, basic maintenance, reassembly, wonderful. You could flip it to the other side if you're left-handed. It's very easy to manipulate left-handed as well. And that is really it. I recommend it. I think it's wonderful. I know I could be a picky bastard about a lot of stuff, but you know, this little dude really impressed me right here. So I think for what it's worth, hell yeah, this thing's awesome. So if you guys like this video, go ahead and leave a like down below. If you are subscribed, thank you so much. I appreciate all your support and your patience, of course. If you are not subscribed, please consider subscribing, because I play more videos and content coming you guys this way. And with that being said, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.